one of my 4 little books with basically all the notes on Bruckner's compositions from Wikipedia, augmented with other little notations I've made. I like the fact that the cover has nothing on it apart from a B. It implies just B. Now you won't, unless you subscribe to the main channel, Dr. Juan Forfar, Varnfried University, be aware of this, but probably about 9 months ago when I was in Monchique, I was admiring a garden and this lady gave me a carnation. It can be found on the video, a little walking tour of Monchique, and I saved the carnation. It's got a little bit flat and has dried out. It's sort of my first flower pressing, you could say. But I kept it because it was a nice little reminder of that day. And it's appropriate to this next Bruckner song setting that I'd like to read to you, entitled Du bist wie eine Blūme. You are like a flower, is what it translates as. And it's only 32 bars long. It's just under 2 minutes. I'll put the link in the description to the actual song. The song is on a text by Heinrich Heine, composed on the 5th of December 1861. Just consists of 2 verses. And the lyrics to the song read as follows. You are like a flower, so lovely, fair and pure. I gaze at you, and wistful melancholy slips into my heart. It's as though I ought to place my hands upon your head and pray God to ever keep you so pure, fair and lovely. As much as anything else, it's a sort of reminder that nothing in this physical reality is eternal, but we can make flower pressings have little things that won't mean anything to anybody else, but like this little carnation, I appreciated the gesture, and it sort of instantly takes me back to that day. It was a beautiful sunny day, and nice to meet some of the local Portuguese as well, and engage in a sort of conversation with my very little knowledge of Portuguese. And in that particular case, they couldn't speak English, but we were still able to communicate. But I thought I'd read the words of the song in English, because if you're hearing it in a language that you're not familiar with, you then have to penetrate deeper. But I feel it is worth looking at the words in your sort of native language, as it were. So I thought I'd just share that. And I had a beautiful reminder from partway through Saturday until Monday, when the national radio station in Portugal, Antenna 2, which broadcasts classical music, went off air. Maybe atmospheric problems or a lightning strike, or technical difficulties possibly. And I thought, well, it's the weekend, it'll probably come back by Monday, and sure enough it did. But it was a lovely reminder of you don't miss something until it's gone. Because there is no other alternative radio station that plays this sort of genre of music that I like. And I wrote to them to express my gratitude as much as anything else, is because they are featuring Bruckner and one of his symphonies every Saturday. I think it's 11 o'clock in the morning. So I feel gratitude that I get to hear that. I may not be able to understand much of the dialogue, but I can understand enough from the words that are said, the names that are mentioned, like the conductor Herman Levi, to do with the 7th Symphony, to get the general gist. But hopefully I can be like a spokesman for Bruckner and show there is far more to Bruckner than meets the eye. It's very easy to point to, and it's a big thing in the English language, pointing to the synchronicity. I can't even say the word. What would be classed as the strange behaviours of Bruckner, but it requires taking that leap of being able to separate Bruckner the man from Bruckner the artist. There are two beings in one there. Bruckner the man, very much consistent throughout his life, is very much working within the existing structures of the world in which he lived. But within that was Bruckner the artist, who was able to express in new ways, which in some ways humanity in the collective sense is still not ready to fully embrace. I refer in particular to this realized finale of the Ninth Symphony, because it is otherworldly. It is depicting what comes after crossing that threshold of death, going into the unseen realms. It's probably the closest that we're ever going to get that's brought to us through the medium of an artist, to give us an inclination of what does come next, which we cannot see from the mortal perspective. Bruckner, I feel, was very much a mystic and is still very much a misunderstood composer. I feel his presence is still here as testimony to that. I would refer anyone to look at the available discography from, say, the 1950s compared to now, and you'll see that there is a prolific amount of recordings by different conductors and different orchestras, some live, some studio performances, and of course all his other, what are classed as minor works, are pretty much all available. I think there's only about 3 or 4 works that there doesn't seem to be recordings of. One that was elusive until recently was his setting of Psalm 22, which you can find in the playlist AB1B, the small scale sacred works, as they're classed in the catalogue of Bruckner's works. But is it a small work? Is it a minor or major? You'll find it in the 1A playlist as well. I couldn't decide which one to put it in, and I thought, well, it's a piece that's often overlooked, so it's in both the playlists for you to find. But I'll put the link in the description for this beautiful song. And I just thought I'd share my passion for Bruckner's music. And really continuing on this celebration, Bruckner 200. Those of you not aware, he was born in 1824. So 2024 marked the 200th birth bicentenary. So there has been an increase in the amount of coverage on the airwaves, at least, and no doubt there has been many new recordings. To me, Bruckner communicates most to the heart. I feel an affinity to his music, particularly in the symphonies. The way they express things in pure sound that cannot really be expressed in words, or in words in any way that can do them justice. So I hope you've enjoyed the view and my sort of poor attempts at poeticizing the lyrics for you. But the links are in the description. Until the next video, thanks very much for watching and happy listening.